Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
A visiting high school football team is greeted by a barrage of slurs and vulgarity at South Lyon High School. Now, 2 districts are investigating. Grant.
A U.S. Senator taking aim at Michigan union jobs. Coming up, what Senator Joe Manchin from West Virginia had to say about a new provision in the Build Back Better plan meant to help auto workers.
Michigan State University answering one of the biggest questions in the disappearance of a young man from Rochester Hills. Topping our news tonight at 6. Tonight marks 2 weeks since Brendan Santo went missing from the MSU campus.
Now, new information is coming to light, part of it having to do with why there are not more clues about where Brendan was headed. Jason Goldthorpe live in East Lansing tonight, where Brendan Santo was last seen. Jason.
Yeah, in fact, Karen, it was right here at this hall, his last known whereabouts. And the Michigan State president today alerting people that several security cameras in this area were not working at the time he went missing. And that includes the one that's just inside Yakeley Hall here in the lobby where he was last seen.
There are thousands of cameras installed on MSU's campus, all meant to heighten the security and make students feel safe. But on October 29th, near midnight, the one here at the entry of Yakeley Hall was not working. It was the night before the Michigan State game, and MSU police say Brendan Santo was last seen leaving Yakeley, headed about a half mile toward the Brody area where he was staying. Despite 2 weeks with no clues, MSU police remain hopeful. They've released new pictures of some of the items Santo had on him and was wearing the night he disappeared, in the hope someone might remember seeing him or passing him. Police have gotten all the information they can from Santo's digital footprint, and it all points to him being in the area of the Red Cedar River. For 2 weeks, crews have searched the river, which was about 3 feet higher when Santo was last seen. Police do not suspect foul play and don't think Santo would have hurt himself. And tonight, the reward for information that helps find him has risen to $11,000.
Now, Michigan State, the president saying that not only are they going to fix the camera inside Yakeley Hall here immediately, they're also going to start installing at least up to 300 more security cameras around campus to make sure students feel safe. Coming up tonight at 11, we're going to tell you what's coming up tomorrow at Rochester Adams High School in Brendan Santo's honor. And also, we're going to tell you why the investigation has taken them to the Red Cedar River and why they're still focused on that. We're live in East Lansing tonight. Jason Coulthorpe, Local 4.
The camera situation, a real problem. I know I've been talking with many parents, too, very frustrated that this occurred and they're wanting the university to act. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, Jason.
We continue to follow breaking news from Clinton Township, where a crash involving a passenger van sends at least 14 people to the hospital. Sky 4 over the scene this afternoon. This is Hall Road near Garfield. Police say 14 adults inside the van were taken to the hospital. Several do have serious injuries. The driver of the SUV has minor injuries. We're told the van belongs to a special needs facility called Creative Empowerment Opportunities. We'll keep following it.
We may have to accept the reality of things this weekend when it comes to our weather.
Alas. Terms like wintry mix have been heard bandied about.
You know
today.
It's coming.
I know, Paul.
Well, we're bringing it all back into the vocabulary. I mean, it's just the time of year. It is November, and we've had some November showers today, scattered. Some of us didn't even get one, but what we have here is now heading into the thumb here. So we're well north of I-69 now, heading over through North Branch, up toward Marlette here, down to Peck and down to Melvin here. So basically very light stuff, nothing of any consequence there, and most of us are going to have a mainly dry evening. We have temperatures, though, that are in the low 40s, and it's breezy out there, so it feels like it's in the 30s. So if you're heading out this evening, dress for 30s. That's what it feels like. And I think we're going to be probably for an actual temperature right around 40 degrees for an evening temperature of heading to any of the high school football games. It should be mainly dry, but again, those wind chills will be in the 30s. All right, we've got the Sunday forecast to talk about. We'll do that in just a few with some pretty hefty detail for you to help you plan. But right now, don't forget, the Local Forecasters app has real-time radar and Futurecast, which takes that radar and projects the precipitation farther ahead into time. That really helps you plan. Just go to the App Store, search under WDAV, and best of all, our app is free, guys.
All right, Paul, now to a major jump in the number of new coronavirus cases in Michigan. There's been nearly, actually 15,878 cases over the past 2 days. So that jumps the daily average for those 2 days to 7,900 cases. Now, that number, of course, seems high, but the state says this total includes results that were delayed earlier in the week, so that may not be quite what meets the eye. 83 more deaths, though, are also being reported, including 43 from a vital records review.
A Livingston County judge reinstates the bond of State Representative Jewel Jones. The Inkster Democrat has been in jail now for 60 days, accused of violating bond and smuggling a handcuff key into the jail following his drunk driving arrest. If Jones can post bail, he will be released into the custody of an elder of his church as part of several bond conditions. Prosecutors have offered to allow Jones to plead guilty to several felonies and some misdemeanors while dismissing many other lesser charges. He has until December 10th to decide if he will take that plea deal.
A Local 4 News update now. A teenager is formally charged in a hit and run that killed a child in Dearborn. 18-year-old Jayon Collins pleaded not guilty to several charges, including leaving the scene of an accident causing death. 6-year-old Batul Afadawi was hit on Sunday by an SUV on Bingham Street. Prosecutors say Collins does not have a driver's license and should not have been behind the wheel. If convicted, he faces up to 5 years in prison.
South Lyon High School and East Lansing High School went head-to-head in a district championship football game last Friday. South Lyon won, but people are still talking about what happened before kickoff. Video caught someone shouting inappropriate comments at East Lansing players kneeling during the national anthem. Our Megan Woods is live tonight with how both schools are addressing this. Megan.
Yeah, so that game happened right here at South Lyon High School last Friday, and we spoke to the East Lansing superintendent, who tells us she didn't find out about this until earlier this week, found out about this and other events. Now both school districts are trying to get to the bottom of it. East Lansing football players are kneeling during the national anthem like they have been since the 2020 season. Then someone in the South Lyon student section yells, "Stand up, you!" East Lansing high school parents who want to remain anonymous to protect their kids say they heard it too.
We were like, did he really just yell it? And how was that respecting the national anthem? Nothing was done in that moment. The rest didn't budge. No coaches said anything.
South Lyon Community Schools looked at the video and talked to people who were there. In a statement to Local 4, the district said, quote, "The investigation has led us to believe the comment was made by a spectator who was standing in our student section. That spectator is not a South Lyon Community Schools student nor affiliated with South Lyon Community Schools," end quote. The claims from East Lansing students and parents don't end at the national anthem. Parents say it wasn't brought to light until after the game when their kids were writing back.
Kids were called lovers if they were not black, and traitors if they were not black. And one of our players who wasn't even in the game, was on the sideline with our team, was told that he needed to go back to Africa.
And then take a look at this video of a student being punched after a play. South Lyon Community Schools said in their statement that East Lansing coaches and game officials have been questioned and no such concerns regarding inappropriate comments were brought to their attention during or after the game. East Lansing parents just want an apology.
Because with an apology comes accountability.
Those East Lansing parents are also concerned because South Lyon Community School says this is behavior they don't condone, yet that person in the stands felt comfortable enough to yell those inappropriate comments in that public environment. Live in South Lyon, I'm Megan Woods, Local 4.
Megan, what did East Lansing Public Schools say about all this?
Well, they're still working on their investigation, so they didn't want to say too much, but we're going to continue to check in with them to see, what their investigation leads to.
Oh, I know you'll be following up. We appreciate it. Thank you, Megan.
We know the automakers are all in on electric vehicles with big plans to manufacture EVs, but also the batteries to power them. Tax credits to make those vehicles affordable to more people are a big part of the president's Build Back Better plan. Well, not everyone is on board. West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin, whose vote can make or break a bill, had some very negative comments about the proposed tax credit. Grant Herms live now with Michigan lawmakers and their pushback on that. Grant.
Devin, good evening. Manchin made those comments in his home state of West Virginia at an event for Toyota, which just announced a brand new $240 million plant there. Toyota has been a staunch opponent of these carve-outs for union-made autos, ones that are a cornerstone for the president's plan here and something that Michigan Democrats have fought hard to keep in this bill. Senator Joe Manchin taking aim at Michigan automakers. According to Automotive News, Manchin said he opposed a new tax credit for electric vehicles made by American union workers. That's part of the president's Build Back Better plan. Manchin, who holds a key vote, called the credits wrong and not American, later saying he had a confrontation with Michigan Senator Debbie Stabenow, who wrote the credits into the massive bill. In a statement, Senator Stabenow pushing back, saying, quote, "There's nothing more American than supporting the opportunity for workers to collectively bargain for good pay and benefits no matter where they live and what company they work for. In fact, that's what created our middle class." The tax credits would add an additional $4,500 for people who buy electric vehicles made by American union workers on top of the $7,500 already in the bill for a new EV. Congresswoman Brenda Lawrence, whose district is home to GM's EV assembly plant, spoke directly to Manchin in an interview today.
He has positioned himself and fortified himself as the deciding factor in bills and laws in this Congress and for our country. He must be very mindful of the impact that he is having on our ability to move forward an agenda.
A possible roadblock in Washington for a major push for Michigan's future. And Manchin's comments come just before the president's visit to Detroit next week, where he's expected to talk about those tax credits for cars that you'd find on lots like this one here behind me. Now, when I asked Congresswoman Lawrence if she was worried those credits couldn't end up on the cutting room floor before that set vote on the Build Back Better plan next week, she didn't say outright that she was worried, but she did say she will fight to make sure that they stay. In Southfield, Grant Herms, Local 4.
It would seem to be in play, though, Grant. Are we hearing anything from the unions about it yet?
I did ask UAW today, and they didn't answer Manchin's comments directly, but the president for the union, in a statement to me, said that the incentive would, quote, "be a win for auto manufacturing workers. The framework supports good-paying union jobs and stands to benefit our country for decades to come." But given the need for Manchin's vote, we'll have to see what happens next week. Back to you.
All right, Grant.
Well, two people from Florida face multiple charges after stealing items from victims' cars over in Berkeley. Police say Tyler Wenzel and Dicey Zuniga Scully were charged with possession of financial transaction devices, uttering and publishing, and ID theft. Police tell us they broke into 4 cars near Coolidge and Oxford last Friday. The suspects were caught after attempting to forge a check and cash it at a bank. They were arrested and found to be in possession of all the victims' cards and IDs.
Ahead, why November 11th took on a whole new importance for a local veteran and her family.
Plus, a story about the power of music in helping people keep their memories sharp as they age. That's next.